Hi there! Welcome to the end of Unit 5. You've looked to offshoring and to research. And now it's time to look what COVID has changed. First with offshoring and then with research. Well, overall, if you look to the post-COVID consequences, is that the concept of offshoring in a way evaporates. Because as a consequence of COVID, some organizations and others partly move to full asynchronous work. So it doesn't really matter where you work, but because of the time differences, they also let go of this. It doesn't matter when you work. Well, then you get a full asynchronous organizations. Yes, you might schedule some meetings, but the starting point is asynchronous. But if it's asynchronous from home or from the other part of the world, it doesn't really matter. So in a way, the concept of offshoring in a way evaporates. As said, if it doesn't matter where and when you work, what does offshore, nearshore really mean? Something interesting also came post-COVID in the area of the offshore suppliers. Because what you've seen that offshore suppliers face enormous attrition challenges at the moment. And the reason for that is when your customers become asynchronous, they can recruit anywhere in the world. So why would they involve you as an offshore supplier if they also can have your employees on their payroll directly? Their company is asynchronous anyway. So what you see, especially in offshore areas, that their former customers, the international companies, start recruiting engineers already in the remote locations. One of the consequences is that also the salaries are rising in these locations. Because what you see is that Indian offshore engineers that were previously employed by an offshore supplier are now directly working for the USA company, or for the EU company. But for salaries for the USA people as well. So it's not low salary, low paid work anymore. They can live in India, they can live in Bangladesh, but they still get the normal EU salaries, making their welfare, their prosperity in their own country rise enormously. And as such, you also get salary challenges in these countries. So they really go up because people can work from home in the remote location and still be a US or EU employee. One of the benefits, I think, is also that the focus of C-level, which we have discussed before, also moves away from cost. Because previous time offshoring always has seen me as a cost reduction. But if you see the salaries and as such also the hourly rates increase post-COVID because of the asynchronous work, as I just explained, you see that also the tendency and the focus of management moves away in regarding GDSE as a cost reduction and really brings where it should be, and that's adding talent, competences to their team. But what has it done for research? What if you look to the impact that COVID has made for research? I think one of the biggest things we've seen is that many research items have been largely caught up by practice. When we were in a lab environment experimenting with stuff, you now see it have been experiment in the broad, in real life, in many companies, making huge progress. So in fact, I would say it's great that, let's say, post-COVID, many of the GDSE challenges have been solved in practice just because of the remote working with so many people. In fact, you could say that these challenges are no longer GDSE challenges, but they have become work challenges. They are just challenges from work. Whether you're a GDSE engineer or whether you do some other stuff, the remote thing, the remote communication, the remote coordination and control is at the center. And it doesn't really matter that you're a software engineer. What it will do for the research agendas, I think it's unclear. Maybe you could say, maybe we're done, because if remote working is part of work in general, it's not a GDSE research topic anymore. So I think, time will tell what it will do. But one thing for me is really sure, is that the big lab environment that we had when working from home has really brought the research, the knowledge to such a level that a large portion of the GDSE research has been caught up by practice. And I think that's good, because it increased our capabilities, not just as researchers, not just as software engineers, but as the working crowd in general. So, almost there. Unit 6. Have fun.